animals, social demands, areas. I think everybody is anybody who doesn't have a cell phone. How about the computer? Is there anybody who doesn't have a computer? So is the school providing computers to isolate people? This wasn't the case while I studied at university. During the preparation school, I didn't have computer, and school didn't give us computers. So think about it. Today's time is different. So today, we have what it takes to achieve what they achieved in London, in San Francisco, in New York, in Chicago, in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Tokyo, in South Madrid. We are not making anything in Africa maybe for the first time. We are starting the race from the same start line. That's why I say that you are better, because your ancestors didn't have the same one. So, at the same time, we need to realize the fact that that potential does not turn into reality by itself. This is so important to understand. So how do we turn potential into reality? Let's think about it. What is potential? What is potential?
I would say the capacity or the ability to do certain things. Yeah.
Very nice. What is reality? Reality is the life that we are living in, right? Have you guys ever played Football Manager? Have you heard of that game before? Football Manager. So it's a manager game. You don't play the game, but you are leading the team, you are managing the team as a football manager. So that is a term called wonder kid. Wonder kid is the term that is used for players who have high potential. So at age 17, 18, 19, there are players who can become a world star. Have you guys ever heard trading up? There was an American youngster who was like Messi when he was between 16 and 17. You don't even remember his name. He didn't have a bright career at all. Have you guys heard Wayne Rooney? At age 60, Alex Ferguson bought him with a record transfer from Everton to Manchester United. And do you know when he was playing at age 21? He wasn't even in Premier League anymore. So imagine, at age 60, you go to Manchester United. But even at age 30, 31, you are not even at the top of the game anymore. So, the potential does not turn into reality by itself. So you gotta do the hard thing. The hard thing is showing the discipline, showing the consistency, and getting things done. So you need motivation, you need inspiration, but more importantly, you need discipline. So the hard thing about the hard things is they are hard things. Like this is a very simple statement, but this is very hard. Do not expect this test to be easy. Do you know how many software engineers all around the world are looking to get to the level of Google software engineers? Maybe is that anybody like if they get an offer from Google tomorrow? They are going to say no. Can I say yes? Let's say tomorrow the offer came. They offer you $100,000 per year. So they want you to start as a software engineer tomorrow. Who wants to reject the offer? Can I say yes? And like we have one person among all these people. So in that regard, this is a really different picture in other parts of the world. Why do I say this? To show you that this is something everybody dreams, right? If everybody dreams, is it easy to achieve that? All the teams at the beginning of the season, they want to become the champion. Is there anything starts to think okay, we want to finish this 11 positions. No, everybody would want that. But in the end, how many things become challenging? Only one. So it's not an easy game. This is a competition. We need to understand. But we also need to understand the fact that if we play our cards well, we can actually do great things. So I told you what I had done before 2019. So what happened after 2019? I came to Africa for the first time. The only person I knew at that time from Africa was from Ethiopia. And they suggested me to go to Ethiopia. And I went to Addis Ababa. I started with really young and energetic. Some of the brightest minds from the continent like you, back in 2019 in Addis Ababa. They were like you. Even they told me after Emre, I want to tell you something. When you come and told us that, hey, you guys can't do this, you can't get offers from Amazon, Bloomberg, like there is a patent, I know you guys said you will teach that. We didn't believe you. But we told you were a nice guy, data structures, algorithms, communication skills, these are those skills. We just wanted to get the experience. But we didn't believe that we were going to do it. Out of those 22 people, right now, 16 of them are experts. Think about it. So you can make it. I am telling you. And you don't have to take my words anymore because during the 6 years in between, A2SV collected more than 120 offers from public companies, 42 offers from Google, 27 from Bloomberg, 23 from Amazon, other companies, Databricks, Palantir, IBM, Goldman Sachs, etc. There are no no-name companies in that office. They are all Africans. They were high potential university students like you, and they came together. They believed in the dream, and they studied hard and smart day by day. So in this regard, I want to welcome you to the information session in which we are going to tell how this program is going to be shaped in the University of Rwanda. So we are going to have some interviews because this education is free and there are limited seats. We have to give those seats to people who deserve. But we also give you some study materials. We really want highly motivated people who want to do great things for African technology to get those seats. So in that regard, you are going to have a chance to shine. And eventually you will be connected with the opportunities. We will be building related to products from Africa as well. Because we don't only have the tech, we also have an incubator. As a result, once we combine these both, there is an amazing potential sitting here. And it's in our hands, literally, to make that potential reality. So thank you very much for your time and energy, and welcome to the session. Now we are going to continue with the next steps, in which we are going to learn more about the things of our program. Just to summarize, in essence, we are here to give you a path that is going to make you an effective software engineer at the top of the Google, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Databricks, you name it. It is possible you can make it. There are many peers who were in your position and now in those companies. So this is doable. But the objective is not to go there and forget about Africa. Please, I want to underline this. We provide education. This is like a football academy. Become a player that can play in Premier League, but use your skills for that. We are here. I have lived my life since 2019. So get those skills. It's okay to go get some experience if you want, but tie those things back to Africa. Because of the great things, because there are so many young people, young people in this school. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nasirus. I'm the head of academy for Rwanda A2SV education. Portuguese education in Rwanda. For our partner University of Rwanda. And thank you for having us. I hope you learned so much from what Ingrid said because it was an important thing. And we're going to discuss about the selection process. Mainly we're going to discuss about two things. One, the selection process. The other one is the education fees that we have in university. I'm not going to make it long, I'm going to make it short because we're not going to make let's say that amount of time and then we'll dive a little bit in each selection process and what we expect from you and what provides our this process. So the first one is the applications, we're going to see the preparations, the type of interviews that we have, and of course the so for the applications, it's been a while since we created the applications. We have made our first promotion in Google Canvas. Since that we have created the application and seen it out. But since we have done the promotion here, I believe most of you guys didn't have the chance to access the application yet. But there is one here that you know that the application is about collecting basic information about you guys. It has a lot of things that ask that will help us know more about this. So this application only takes 5 to 7 minutes. It is the deadline is going to be January 4th. Okay. As I was saying, the application is already there. The deadline is January 4. We'll make you guys fill out the application later on. And anyone in UR is eligible for this program. Whatever department you are, whether you are a first year student or a fourth year student, if you are an undergraduate, you are a student, you are eligible for this program. And for people that are not here currently, for your friends that wants to join A2SV education, it would be really nice to share the application with them so that we can have a lot of UR students in Rwanda. Because for AUCA, we have made our promotions, we have made our selection process, we have finished everything. And the good thing is we have just started the education today. We have been there in the morning, and some of our colleagues are already there this afternoon. So it would be nice to have a lot of UR students. And as of now, we have 201 University of Rwanda students that are registered, which means like a lot of students know about A2SV education. So after this promotion, we expect at least 500 students from Rwanda, which is going to make it really nice. So this is all about the applications. And for the preparations, we have created interview preparation toolkit. So to get into A2SV's education, there is going to be an interview. The main selection process that we have is the interview, and we didn't want to assume that you guys are going to prepare by yourself. because of course you can prepare by yourself, but we want to help you prepare better for the interviews. That's why we've created an interview preparation toolkit that has everything that you need in order to be ready for the interviews. The main two things that were mentioned in the interview preparation toolkit is the two things. One, if you don't know, there are two platforms that are commonly used in data structures and algorithms, which is LeetCode and Codeforces. So some of you might have been solving some questions before, some of you might know it, but if not, we need you guys to create this account. Of course, when you access the interview preparation toolkit, you're going to know all the procedures that you need to follow to create this account. The other one is the topics that we need you guys to be prepared on. So as you guys can see, most of you guys are already familiarized with these topics. So as you guys can see, we have 3 data structures, arrays, stacks, queues, and we have 1 algorithm here. So we want you guys to prepare on only these topics for the interviews. It's not going to be too much. Most of you guys learn about it like most probably, so it's not going to be very hard, but the resources and the slides, YouTube videos, anything that you need to know, it is included in the interview preparation toolkit. Since we've created a WhatsApp group, we're going to share the interview preparation toolkit along with other resources that might help you for the interview. So this is for the preparations. And for the interviews, in A2SV, we have 2 interviews, a technical interview and a behavioral interview. So mostly we have a 1 hour and 30 minutes interview. So for the first 45 minutes, we're going to have 2 technical data structures and algorithm questions. So the first question is going to be an easier question so that you can warm up for the second one. The second one is going to be the one that's going to define whether you're going to pass the interview or not. So we're going to have 2 questions for the technical part, and there's going to be behavioral questions. This behavioral questions is going to be about, you don't even need to prepare if, it's going to be, it will help us know what kind of experience you have, what level are you on, and what kind of plans you have for the future. So of course, like in the interview preparation toolkit, we have mentioned some questions that would help you prepare better for the behavioral questions, but I believe it's not going to be very difficult for you guys. So this is all about for the interviews. And of course, one thing I want to mention is you're going to read the preparation toolkit, but above that, when you are in the interviews, we suggest you guys to communicate clearly with your interviewer. So sometimes students struggle by themselves to solve the questions, but what you need to do is, if you don't understand the question, you have to clearly communicate with the interviewer so that you can make it a discussion. It's not like the question is going to be given, you are expected to solve. The interviewer, like you have to walk the interviewer through your thought process, and the interviewer is going to help you solve that problem. So everything is in the interview preparation toolkit, but I still wanted to mention it. So this is for the interviews. And once you pass the interviews, this is the first education phase that we have in A2SV, the onboarding phase. Some of you might ask, why is this in the selection process? And this is because in the onboarding phase, there are going to be lectures and other sessions that we later are going to discuss about. And when we have those sessions, we are going to see these 3 metrics. So these 3 metrics are the attendance. We want at least 85% attendance. So if you're not going to attend that session for any reason, maybe you might have a class, maybe you might have an exam, maybe you might have any kind of thing that will prevent you from attending this class, we want a proper reason for your absence. And like I said, the minimum percentage of attendance is 85. And the other one is consistency. Consistency means how often do you solve questions? So we expect everyone, once you join A2SV, we expect everyone to solve questions every day. Of course, it might be 1, it might be 5. We suggest it like for it to not be 1 because The more you solve questions, the more you're going to be better at it. So it is ideal to solve within the range of 3 to 5 questions every day because, of course, you have classes and everything. So we're going to check whether you are solving questions every day. So the more you solve questions, like I said, the more you're going to get better. And for the consistency, we want 85% consistency from you guys. And the last one is the track completion. For the track, track is basically, we have different education phases. For each education phase, there is going to be a question bank. And in that question bank, let's just say there are 70 questions for the onboarding phase. So you have to solve at least 85% of those questions in order to be eligible for the next education phase. So this education phase, of course, there are going to be different lectures and sessions, but this is where we're going to test whether you have the bandwidth to continue with A2SV or not, because we're going to have camps, we're going to stay in the class for the whole day. So in the camps, we're going to discuss it later on. Our session is going to be in the morning and in the afternoon. So if you guys can't attend the onboarding phase for 3 hours, it's hard to imagine you guys are going to attend for full day. So the onboarding phase, even after you pass and join A2SV, you have to be really careful in the onboarding phase so that you're not going to be dropped. So this is for the selection process. The other one is the education life cycle. As I've mentioned earlier, the first one is going to be the onboarding phase. And the onboarding phase, we're going to introduce you guys with the basic foundational soft skills that you're going to need for the entire education phase or for the coming year. And like I said, we're going to use this matrix to evaluate you guys. And then also, this is the part where we're going to introduce you to A2SV's culture. So like I said, the attendances, the check-in, check-out time, whether it is the heads-up policy, like I said, whenever you can't attend the session, 30 minutes before the session, we need to have a heads-up, a valid reason why you're not attending the session. So we're going to discuss about these kinds of things during the onboarding phase so that everything is going to be clear once we start with our normal education phases. So this is for the first one. And then we're going to dive into the education phase. So the first education phase is going to be, this is where we start the data structures and algorithm courses. So during the onboarding phase, the lectures are going to be basics of Pythons, basically. So in A2SV, you can actually solve the questions with any of your preferred language. But in A2SV, we recommend you guys to use Python. So some of you guys might know Python, some of you might not, but we're not going to say, okay, we are going to use Python, go and study Python so that you can solve questions. So for the onboarding phase, we're going to very focused on understanding the basics of Pythons and other fundamental soft skills. So once we finish that in the onboarding phase, the first education phase is going to be the introduction to the basics of data structures and algorithms. So we're going to have the lectures, we're going to have practice sessions. So currently we're planning to have the lectures on Mondays and Wednesdays, and the other sessions are going to include the practice sessions, which means if we learn a certain topic on Monday, on Tuesday it's not going to be another lecture. On Tuesday we're going to solve a lot of questions, because if you cover a topic and if you're not going to solve any questions, the idea is not going to be stick. So the practice session is going to help us to really understand what that topic is about. It will help us to figure out the different patterns that we're going to see on questions that are based on that topic. The other one is the pair programming and triad programming. So in practice sessions, you guys are going to solve the questions by yourselves. So you're going to be in a lab and you're going to solve the questions by your own. In the pair programming, you're going to be paired up with, for example, these two guys might be paired up with together so that they can solve a certain questions together. So this means they can share ideas, they can share perspective on how to solve that problem. Maybe this person can have a certain way of solving this problem and this person have a different way of solving it. So since each idea of solving that problem if it is the correct one. Like they can share ideas on how to come up with the optimal one. So this is about the pair programming, and the triad programming is you're going to be three. So there are going to be three guys that are going to be solving on one question, which is going to help us navigate a question better. So this is for pair programming and triad programming. The other one is contest analysis. So every week on Saturday, there is going to be a contest. A contest is going to be 5 to 6 questions that are going to be based on the topics that we've covered this week. So those questions are going to help us evaluate the level that you guys are in. So we've covered the topic. How much of that concept did you guys really understood? This is the contest is going to help us understand better about your performance. And the other one is the mock interviews. Mock interviews are basically interviews between students. Like I said, in the mock interview session, we're going to select 2 questions. And those 2 questions are going to be used to interview one another. So maybe these 2 guys are going to be paired in the interviews. So for the first 45 minutes, this person is going to interview that person. So when he interviews the other guy, he's going to be very professional and follow the procedure of what an interview should do on an interview. So once he follows the guideline and interview the other person, and after the 45 minutes, the other person is going to use another question and interview this guy. This is very helpful because you're going to see both sides of an interview, because I will guess that most of you guys have been on the other part of the interview, being the interviewer, right? The interviewee, right? But most of you guys haven't really been on the side of the interviewer. So being on this part is going to help you how to navigate and how to communicate with your interviewer better. So mock interview sessions are very, very important. The other one is the first camp. The first camp, for the most part, is going to be the same, except in camps, we actually need you guys for the whole day. What I mean by that is, in the morning, we need you guys for 3 hours, and in the afternoon, we need you guys for 3 hours. So during the morning session, we might have a certain lecture, and in the afternoon, we're going to have maybe a practice session or maybe a pair programming, so that we're going to solve more questions intensively what we covered in the morning session. And the one thing that I didn't mention is the moonwalks. Moonwalks are sessions that are going to help you guys to know each other better. So maybe this person doesn't really know a lot about you. So if you are going to exist in the same class for a year, you guys should interact with each other, right? Because maybe you are in the architecture department, maybe she is in the software engineering. So which means the chance of you guys knowing each other might be very little. So in the moonwalks, we take 30 minutes, and within that 30 minutes, we let people that don't know each other well to communicate with each other. Maybe you can talk about, if you want, you can talk about football, movies, the sessions that you have in A2SV, anything that you want so that you can interact with that person. It doesn't have to be like in education. Anything that you want so that you can know the other person better than you did yesterday. This is what the moonwalks is all going to be about. And the camp is going to be very intensive. And Emre has a famous saying that everyone knows in A2SV, which says camp is where the magic happens, because it's going to be very intensive. There are going to be advanced lectures. There are going to be questions that are more advanced, than the questions that are in the education phases. We're going to spend more time in data structures and algorithms. And by the end of the camp, you're going to really see the change. So it is a very important part of the education. The other one is the second education phase. The second education phase is going to be the same as the rest of them, but we're going to cover different topics, more and advanced topics, right? So as you can see, we have sorting to bitwise operation, numerics, graphs, DFS, BFS, some of them you might know them. We're going to cover a lot advanced topics, and we're going to use the same kinds of sessions that we used before. Like I said, the only thing that's going to change is the topics. And one different thing that we have from this session is the how to approach session. How to approach session is a very important session that we have in A2SV. In that session, you guys are not going to be the ones that are going to solve the questions. We are going to solve the questions. It's going to be a live session. We're going to be in the same classroom, and you're going to see us solve the question. So the thing is, since we have spent more time on solving data structures and algorithms, we're going to show you how we can, there's going to be a certain question, and we're going to show you how you can approach to solve that problem. So you're going to learn a lot about how to professionally, attack a problem to actually get to the point, how to see a pattern, how to identify certain things so that you can reach to the optimal solution to a certain problem. This session is really, really important. And the other one is the final camp. So in A2SV, we have two education phases, the first and the second education phase that we've covered so far. And for the camps, we have two camps. So this final camp is going to be during the break so that we can have you guys for a good amount of time. Like I've mentioned before, the camps are going to be very intensive. Of course, there are going to be more advanced topics, and the sessions, as you guys can see, we have the mock interviews, the contests, the lectures, the practice sessions, the pair program. These sessions are going to exist, but the topics, time you guys reach this time, you are already a very good competitive programmer. You have been passing through a lot of contests, you have been doing a lot of mock interviews, a lot of questions. So by this time, you're going to challenge yourself more. So this is all about the final camp. And the other one is the project phase. So the first year education is heavily going to focus on data structures and algorithms. So for the first 9 months, we're going to cover pure DSA lectures. The rest of, for the 3 months, the rest of the year, for the last 3 months, it's going to be the project phase. In the project phase, what we do is, as you know, there are a lot of problems in each of our countries, right? There are problems in your neighborhood, in your school, maybe the hospitals that you've been to. There are different problems that needed to be solved using the digital solutions, right? So what we do is we collect ideas from everyone, from you guys, and we will try to actually come up with a solution for a real world problem. And once we agree on a certain idea, we're going to change it into a project so that everyone is going to participate in it. And when you are going to participate in that project, there are going to be tracks. So these tracks are going to be divided into two. The first tracks that you're seeing is the main tracks, which includes the mobile, the backend, and the web. This is the main tracks. So any one of you guys can choose one of them. You can't choose two from a certain track. From the main track, you can't choose two. You can only choose one track from the main track. And these parts are the complementary tracks. So while you are focusing on the main tracks, you can select one complementary track. So for example, if you choose a web track, you can choose UI UX as a complementary track. It's not mandatory. You can even choose web and ML, web and product, whatever, but you can only choose one track from the main track and one track from the complementary track. And throughout the project phase, we're going to have an introductory about what each of these are. And after that, we're going to start the project. But you might say, we only have 3 months for the project phase. How are we going to finish it? Because you guys might come up with a good project idea and it might not be finished with 3 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this project phase idea into our second-year education. So when you guys are going to attend our second-year education, you guys are going to continue working on the project that you guys started in the project phase, which is going to be really, really nice. So this is about the project phase. And finally, we have the interview phase. The interview phase is you guys have been spending a year of solving DSA questions, right? The final stage of graduating from A2SV is having internal interviews. So by this time, you have been doing a lot of mock interviews among with each other. So you know the ins and outs of interviews. you're not going to be new for this internal interviews. So by this time, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a resume and LinkedIn profile polishing sessions. Like I'm sure that you guys have a really nice resume, but there might be some things that you guys missed that is not really making it job ready, that is not really making it outstanding, so that you can outshine others. So what we will do is we're going to monitor everyone's resume within the session, and we're going to polish it in a way that it's really impossible for a recruiter to pass that resume. So we're going to polish the resume properly, and also the LinkedIn profiles, because there are people that really take care of their LinkedIn profiles, and there are some people that are just creating their LinkedIn profile just to have it, right? And that's not true, because even if you are in different department, there are things that you guys accomplished and did throughout the years, right? And LinkedIn is where you guys show your progress, your success, even if it's little. If you guys see LinkedIn posts, whenever people start something or finish something or have an idea of it, they are going to reflect it on LinkedIn. So in this session, we're going to polish your LinkedIn profiles, and we're going to have suggestions on how you can keep polishing it throughout the year. The other one is the mock interviews. We still are going to have the mock interviews before going into the main internal interview. We're still going to have, because during the project phase, since we're not going to focus on the essay, we don't want to assume that for the three, even though we suggest you guys should solve the essay questions within the project phase, we don't want to assume that you have been solving. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some practice sessions, and then we're going to have mock interviews so that you can realign yourself with this track. So after that, we're going to have internal interviews. For the internal interviews, if you are going to attend the first year properly, attend all the sessions, solve all the questions that we need you guys to solve, the internal interviews are going to be very easy. Trust me, they are going to be very easy for you guys. So, and in order to graduate and get the certificate from A2SV, you need to pass for the internal interviews. And the good thing about it is maybe you have scheduled your interviews, you got your interviews, and maybe you didn't feel well, or maybe you tried to solve the question but couldn't fully solve it. So you might fail that interview, right? The good thing about it is after 2 weeks, we're going to give you guys 2 weeks so that you can really get into the environment, so that you guys can come up after 2 weeks and nail the interview. So if you fail the internal interview once, it doesn't mean it's over. We're going to give you guys 2 weeks. If you're going to fail, we're going to give you another 2 weeks, right? You shouldn't keep failing. At some point, you're going to solve the question, I'm sure. But for a rare case that you guys couldn't solve the question, we're going to give you guys a 2-week time to prepare again, and you're going to come back and then have another interview. So what you have to really pay attention to is cover all the topics that we will cover, solve the questions that we want you guys to solve, and the internal interview is going to be very easy. And the other one is the applications. So like around, I believe, July, August, right, Emre? There are going to be applications coming from different companies. So we're going to give you guys those applications. Like I said, since we're going to polish the resumes, your LinkedIn profiles, by the time the applications are going to come, you are going to be very ready. So we're going to fill out the applications, and then we're going to try applying for big tech companies. So this is all about the education phases we have. And for the reasons why you should join, we have Becky. And thank you guys.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Maybe let's hear some thoughts from the crowd. Why do you think you should join?
These musicians that have told us that I should join. First of all, it is very it is somehow united. It involves many people, so it is like it is very friendly. So, and also it provides education about the things. So it is very good. So that's the first reason that we can try. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe let's hear one more thought. Any volunteers?
Okay, so if there's any reason why I should join, it's just because I want to make money out of it.
Thank you for your honest opinion. Okay, so I joined A2SV in November 2022, and before joining A2SV, my problem solving skills, it wasn't that good. My communication skills also wasn't that good. I I benefited a lot from this program. Uh, so I was Generation 4 student, and then I was selected to be head of education for the coming batches. So I would say you will get free education. So it's not common to get like this kind of high quality education for free, right? So that's one reason, and you also can get best community ever. So most of my friends, they're from A2SV. They are very brilliant, I would say. So you will also be part of best community, brilliant people. So that's another reason. And your problem solving skills and communication skills will also improve a lot. So that's another reason. Maybe Embry, you want to?
You actually raised many good points. And with my experience, let me also tell you why this is an excellent opportunity for you. Because if you are in this room, it means you really care about your programming skills. Probably this is going to be the profession you are going to pursue in the next, let's say, 10, 20 years. So if you are going to give most of your life in one area, I highly recommend trying to be one of the best in that field. Because some people are going to be on top of that competition. Think about it. Now we are about to start, actually it started yesterday, right? Africa Cup of Nations. Did Rwanda make it this time? Hopefully next time. One of those teams is going to be the winner. Not all the teams who are there will be the winners. And we know that one of them is going to get there. So at A2SV, we make learning and education a team game. So think about it. You may have an iron discipline. You may wake up every morning at 6, go to gym, work out. You can. This is possible. How easy is this? How many of us have done this before in their life so far? Have you ever tried doing it with a gym buddy? Trying to do this with another friend that you know, that you trust? Did you feel the difference? I am telling you, if you care about something, make it a team game. At A2SV, we make this a team game, number one. Number two, there is a well-defined path. Since 2019, first generation, 2020, second generation, 2021, third generation. This is the seventh generation team. And every year, we are adding more on top of what we had. At A2SV, we call everything work in progress. Nothing is final at A2SV. Everything is work in progress because good can always be better. Things are changing. Is there anybody who was coding in 2022? Can I see hands? In 2022, who was coding? Anybody in the room who was coding in 2022? It's not that far, 3 years ago. It's okay, please raise your hand. Did you have Copilot by then? Or anything similar? Huh? We didn't. The large language models, they were made available with ChatGPT for the first time in 2023, right? So up to 2022, there was no coding with AI. So right now you may be like, hey, how did you guys do that without AI? So things change dramatically. And to adapt, we need to look at everything as work in progress. And last but not least, we will be pushing you. We will be helping you to touch your boundaries. Why? Because the development happens at the boundaries. Think about it. The last repetition that is taking all your energy, that is the one that is giving you the most benefit. The additional hour that you put into your project by taking from your sleep is the hour that is making the difference for your project in comparison to others. So we are going to help you push your boundaries so that you can grow. So for all these reasons, I really believe this is not a golden opportunity, but it's a diamond opportunity. You know, I wish when I was in university, I had a program like A2SV. So I really feel like you guys are very lucky, but of course the potential does not turn into reality by itself. So it's in your hands. You can see the potential in yourself, believe in it, and bring your motivation, discipline, hard work, and we will help with the smart work. I am 37. Not as experienced as Dr. Antoine, but not as young as you. So you have more potential than I do. I cannot take that time back. Life is a one-way journey. But I can help you learn some of the things that I've learned in my life so that you can learn by reflection and you don't have to spend the same amount of time. You can cut to the chase. And with our education squad, we will be there to help. Like our sessions, they are 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. So this is not like the other courses in the university, because in the end, we have very ambitious goals. So in that regard, I really hope you are going to see the opportunity and join our beautiful ship to go after amazing goals one by one. Thank you very much. Yes, as we mentioned earlier, the applications are already open. So now is the time to take your phone out. Read the QR code if you haven't done already, then you will have access to the link. You don't have to fill out the form now, but definitely either save the QR code or the link so that you can do it later on. And finally, we can come to the questions. Yes, please. And team, this is kind of ask me anything situation, so you can ask anything about the organization, about the program, about us. We will be with knowledge. Thank you. Yes, please.
My name is Ahmed. My question is this program free or it is paid?
The program is free, and for the financial sustainability, we sign income share agreements. So if one of our alumni makes more than $1,000 in the technology jobs in the future, then they pay until a cap. So that is taken in place after people start making 4 digits US dollars money. Meaning, if you make jobs that is paying less than $1,000, you don't have to pay anything. But if you get a job that is paying you more than $1,000, then you pay small commission until hitting a cap so that we can continue training the future generations of students. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Really thank you guys for answering us. But I think also want to know, since you said that it's actually free, just like you want to help us get with the potential, we even inside of us. So what do you get out of it?
Well, the mission of A2SV is building a thriving, sustainable tech ecosystem for Africa. This is a very big mission. And we believe there are 3 stages that we need to go through in this journey. So to build a thriving, sustainable tech ecosystem, number 1, we need to have massive tech talent. So that's why we started with tech education. Like what is different, what is special in Silicon Valley? Like as I said, there are many overachieving people in technology that are aiming to go there, right? So there are hundreds of thousands of amazing engineers in the area. When you open a position, you can find a world-class candidate for that position easily. For us to be able to do the same thing in Africa, first we need to reach to that mass tech talent. That's why we have our Tech Academy. We provide this education so that there will be thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions amazing software engineers in the continent. So after this free education, we believe we are going to complete stage 1, which is having the mass amount of tech talent. Number 2, we need digital products so that those great engineers can work on and they can make them better and better and serve their own communities. That's why we started our incubator. And under our incubator, we have some digital products. But what we really believe here is not just having A2SV products becoming a tech ecosystem, but A2SV products becoming part of the growing tech ecosystem. If you look at the past of A2SV, well, we have trained 1,200 people. And at the moment, our total staff headcount is about 80. So 1,280, like less than 10% of the people are indeed working at A2SV at the moment. Other people are pursuing other things, but they have gone through this education. They are contributing to the technology world. So what is the third phase? Well, the third phase is connecting the sub-ecosystems in different countries, different founders, different technology players with each other. That's why we also organize events. Like there is A2SV Hackathon, which is the largest competition, tech competition in the continent for students. Like the last edition actually got about 5,000 participants. So since our mission is empowering African technologists, that's why this is something we do by nature. So this is a non-profit organization. We are not trying to make money out of you, but we want to build great technologies for the benefit of humanity. Thank you. Sorry. Two.
They told us that we need consistency and discipline, and of course, not expecting things to get easier, to be easier as we progress. So honestly, we get that saying most of the time, and we don't see change most of the time. So we wanted to ask how do you shape your environment and situations of individuals so that they can strive during the Africa to see environment.
So first, let me rephrase the question to make sure I understand you correctly. Like there are many programs which are coming with maybe big goals, dreams. Like what is happening at A2SV that this is going to be different and we will be getting those ambitious results.
Most of the time, this saying you have to be consistent and stay disciplined, but another case, not all the time that you see the progress on those things that is doing. So the question is asking how do Africa to Silicon Valley shape the environment and situations to the participants in order to succeed.
Thank you. So, Tim, there are multiple reasons why consistency is difficult. So let's understand. Number one, if the next step is not clear, it's so easy to procrastinate. You know, one of the biggest mistakes we do, not just as a student, by the way, in the professional career, this is also easy to do. When you have a big project, if you do not divide it into smaller steps, you don't know what to do next. And when you don't know what to do next, when it is not well defined, this is a difficult task for humans. So the first difference at A2SV is we have a very clear path. Like the curriculum of what we are going to teach you from now until the end of second year is already fleshed out. And it is subject to change because the technology world is changing. We are also open to that change as well. But we have the clarity. So when we run the interviews, it is known what type of questions we are going to ask, what type of evaluation criteria we are going to use to choose the brilliant students. Next, we have educators that are going to be with you in all those sessions. So in your normal class at the university, how many professors do you have in one session? Huh? How many teachers you have in one session? But did you ever see like 3 professors coming together, 4 professors coming together in a lecture? At A2SV, we never leave one group with one teacher. Like, for example, our groups are 30 people, and we assign 3 educators for 30 people. So when you get a ratio for each teacher, there are 10 students. And our teachers are regular one-on-ones with the students. You have a chance to talk with your professor. And if you do that, is it going to be possible to do it for everybody? Normal education, like classic education, this is a big issue that we have observed. And at A2SV, to address that, we assign more teachers to the class, attention. Number 2, then your teacher calls you, your teacher sends you a message. Like also, after a few sessions, you start seeing the benefit yourself. After version are early, eating healthy, working out, studying hard, you love that version. You don't want to fall back to your earlier version. So, like all these beautiful elements, and there is also peer effect. Like we don't want you to come alone, even in this session. What did I ask you to do at the beginning? Invite a friend, make it a team game. So in time, you get to know your other friends. I am sure there are amazing people here, but I don't know yet. I don't know you well enough yet, but in time we are going to get to know each other more. But I know that because of your qualifications, because it's not easy to come to one of the top universities, if not the best in the country. Becoming in some of the most competitive departments, this is not easy. You have already gone through many selections. So this already shows that you have a great potential. And when we motivate each other with a system, with some ambitious goals, people love going through that process. They love what kind of transformation it makes to them. Like we heard from Bereket, right? She said, you joined in November 2022. And Bereket, are you the same Bereket? Definitely not. And if she didn't like what was happening, she wouldn't be here. So in that regard, after you start, you get the taste and you love the progress. Because it's all about small incremental improvements, team. Like nobody wakes up and, oh, I am 10% better today. No, it's impossible. You don't have such kind of big jumps in one day. But can you become 10% better? Yes. In 6 months, you can. Every day, if you go 0.1%, in 10 days, it's going to be 1%. In 1 month, it's going to be 3%. And if you actually include the effect of compound improvement, right? Because it's like, let's say 100 today, after 10% improvement, it's going to be 110. And 1% of 110 is not 1, it's 1.1. You get my point, right? Even 1% improvement is bigger than what it was earlier because your total pie is growing. So all in all, I'm telling you, trust the system, look at the results. The first generation of A2SVians needed to trust my word. They had different reasons to do what the system was saying, and they get the results. And for you, you see those results already. 120. Let's say 1 is luck. 2, the person knew somebody. 3, 4, 5, like that. I don't have patience to count until 120. So that is the product of a system. And if you want to get there, now there is a path. You can do this. And again, I want to underline, it's not going to be easy. Yes, but it is doable. And you can get there. Thank you. Uh-huh.
They can ask a few questions.
It's like 15, let's see, 5 more minutes. All right, yeah, I'm going to wrap up in 5 minutes since we finished the allocated time. Let's continue, but we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, so from your own personal experience, improving this, also join the Silicon Valley movement. From your own comparison, your own opinions, what are the chances of someone succeeding with Silicon Valley learn from the university degree?
Without.
Without, yes. Or if you want to leave the university degree for that, succeed at the university.
Well, there are some people in Silicon Valley which do great things without a university degree. But when you look at ratio of people, there is a huge difference. So just because there are some examples, it doesn't mean that it's a safe path. Maybe there are, let's say, millions of university dropout people or people who didn't go to university, and maybe less than 1% of them are doing great things in technology. So people don't see the full picture. In that regard, I believe it's very important to go to the university for multiple reasons. Number 1, in university education, you get exposure to different sub-branches of the job that you are going to do in the future. So in, let's say, computer science related courses, like you learn about backend development, you learn about embedded systems, you learn about operating systems, you learn about computer organization, digital logic design. It's impossible that you will be doing it all after you graduate. However, getting some exposure helps you to choose which one you like more. So in that regard, I believe university education is very important. It gives you exposure and it gives you network. Because these brilliant people are your potential future co-founders to achieve something great.
My name is actually leadership and is there any support like any other facilities and support we provide to the students out of lecturers and
Any other support? What else do you want, brothers?
so for example, or something.
So in the past, actually, we were supporting stipend and internet stipend, but we had some financial challenges, and we are still having those financial challenges. The idea is whenever we get funding, we will re-enable those. But at the moment, no. But there will be some perks. For example, we will provide notebooks, pens, t-shirts, potentially water bottles. So like that would be this kind of perks. We do team trips, we do team dinners, like not very frequent, but maybe once a quarter or once a semester there is a team trip. Yes, so there are such kind of activities, like team activities. But to my knowledge, you guys already have good internet connection in the campus, right? Or are there some people who struggle with that? Are there some people, or is there good internet connection in the campus?
Because sometimes you go in holidays and we are out of the campus.
Don't worry, like most of the holiday time we have program. So there will be boot camps. And you guys are going to be here for the boot camps. It's not going to be remote. Yes, maybe we have time for one more question. Any other questions? Like backside, we didn't get much questions from you. Excuse me.
Thank you so much. My Vincent. I wanted to ask a question. So now about supervising programs that support projects.
So just to give you an idea on what we have been, but this helps African women take it's a health app helping African women provide them local languages. Another one, Akil, is connecting youth. So it's a job platform. The company they are offering job. We are hiring for basically from Akil. And the third project, Skill Building, it is helping African high school students starting from Ethiopia and Rwanda to utilize get a better collect ideas from everybody, from our board members to students. So if you have an idea and bring it to if the team likes it, so team, please make sure that you are going to follow our socials and join the University of Rwanda WhatsApp group and ask us questions there. Thank you for your time and energy, and peace be. Thank you very much. Group picture. Outside? Okay.